bill didn't go through the banking committee. I want to agree. And thank God it didn't, because you know the last two bills that did? One was TARP 1, which nobody likes. Then TARP 2 came through that committee, and then the big bank regulatory bill came through that committee. So I hope the ranking member isn't trying to convince me or the Republicans that that committee's produced really great legislation. Now, I say that with respect to the chairman of the committee, and I know he's going to hear this and be aggravated, but to stand up in here and say because the small business lending bill didn't go through the banking committee, which has been roundly criticized by their side for too much regulation, is more than I can stand. Thank goodness this didn't go through the banking committee. It came straight from the hearts of bankers in our community and small businesses that don't need any committee in Washington to tell them what's going on at home. They don't need any lobbyists to tell us what's going on. They can't get money. We've given out money to Wall Street. We've given out money to the big auto companies. And when it comes to giving out a small $30 billion to our own community banks, the Republicans say no. And then I have to hear the senator from Alabama and the senator for South Dakota, and I want whoever's listening to hear this. They say this is a big government program. A big government program. The money doesn't even go to the government. It goes to the community banks. It's a voluntary program to community banks. And it then goes to business. Now I'm going to say again, there were Democrats that came to me and said, I'm the chair of the committee, Senator, we don't trust the private sector. We don't think that if we give them this money, they will lend to our small businesses. Can't you do a direct lending program? There's a lot of support for a direct lending program. But I said, knowing the GOP the way I do, I said to my friends, my colleagues, you know, if I thought I could get 1 or 2 or 3 Republicans for a government direct program, I might do that because it would be more efficient. But they're so mad at the government right now, and they've got everybody all riled up. I said, so let's do it through our community bankers that we know that they support. So we craft the program to be a private sector lending program, voluntary to healthy banks, and they want to say no because they say it's like TARP. Well, let me tell you one senator who's a Republican that doesn't think it's TARP, and that's Senator Lemieux from Florida. Another senator that doesn't think it's TARP is the good senator from Ohio, George Voinovich, who says it's not TARP. But the senator from South Dakota, who just came down here to talk about how we can't help small business, actually voted for TARP. The senator who just spoke against this provision voted for TARP to give money to banks and big banks and with no, with strings attached, and yet he comes down to the floor and says, but now he can't help our community banks in their efforts to help small businesses. Every community bank, independent bankers, ABA, they're all supporting this. They didn't support TARP. Many of them did not. They were afraid of it. They didn't like it. They still complain about it. This isn't TARP.